social hour since people are new to this channel, I thought I'd share a part of me as much as you share a part of yourselves every day, bettering yourselves, your lives, your worlds. I understand there's some people who have to take precautions learning new things in life, but it goes without saying, when you come to America, this is land of the free, as it means exactly that. There are people who die day and night, some as young as 21, 19, just so you can walk across the street, breathe, read a book, go to a library without having to look over your shoulder and wonder, hope that nobody tries and takes that from you. You are an American citizen when you come here in America and you achieve the American dream. Um, there are people who've been here since birth, and you know, it takes a strong leader as myself to wake up everybody and sit there and help you realize you're not so old just because you're 60 and can barely get out of bed. That doesn't mean you're expired, unwanted, unappreciated. You're still of use even while watching TV, listening to a good music song, whether it be classical like myself, or country music or rock music, or watching WWF, what have you. There are people who try vainly hard to better themselves. Sometimes people have to take a step back, and sometimes people are looking forward to the journey beyond. I mean, it takes a strong person to think outside the box, and at the same time, know exactly where you went wrong in life as a child, even, and how to help you better yourself. It's a gift being psychic. I don't really care for criticism. I don't have time for ignorance. Again, I fend off offenders, for crying out loud, as childish as they are, or whatever, little brainless scams they come up with trying to steal someone's life from out from under them. I'm the first one to come out of a hell fight of arguments, of ignorance, and fend that off, just like Jesus did years ago in front of Pontius Pilate. People spat on him because they didn't know who he was, didn't believe in him, until they opened their eyes and their heart. I open my eyes, my heart for all of you, your religion, your culture. I even read your books, your country, your taste of food. I even sit there and drink coffee with you. Uh, that's the kind of friend I am. There is nothing I would not do for family, people I care about, even children all over the world. UNICEF I support, foundations for adopting children, Red Cross, USO, WWP, Wounded Warriors Program, Viet. People don't come 20 hours commuting, driving from one state to another just to be near a person and leave a business card for their health. They're not around for their health, trust me. They didn't come all the way 20 plus hours from Washington for their health, okay? Who do you think the president comes to for a hug? Of presidents. That's not just one president. There's ambassadors, people who hold a serious career path and didn't learn all that overnight. They're not so old, unappreciated, unwanted as they thought. Some don't even want to be on camera or want to be seen by public. That's understandable. The more better for you to arrive at night here. Hope you get here safely. That's most important. Much love. Um, there are people I care about wholeheartedly, whether they know it or not. People like this one I read later on. I even go up to a church and sit there read in front of a podium. Okay, I mean, and this is interesting. Look at that. Her two beautiful little girls right there. I treat as my own kids. I mean, there's not a thing I wouldn't do for a kid, especially when grabbing my leg. My son does it all the time. It's the fastest way to knock his dad down to his level. I used to do the same thing as a kid when I was his age. I mean, I knew exactly where to break you down, okay? I'd wait till you sit on the sofa and jump on you for like a trampoline. That's why I also support Olympics, Tour de France. Uh, the next Olympics is in Korea. ESPN radio, NASCAR, country music, all these people out of heart who live on die-hard ranches. I get by, I get around when I can if I'm not running around with my sister who dropped by the other day. We went and saw War Mall, big old palace of a mansion, and it's it's the greatest historic place in Georgetown, World, uh, where George Washington and British American Revolution took place, stomping grounds of Abraham Lincoln to the Civil War. A place where, through all that whole area, through place where thoroughbreds began in Kentucky Derby. I mean, not just watching Seabiscuit, the movie, another great movie that inspires people to do better for themselves while watching a four-legged friend. I mean, I think since the Great Depression that horses helped, other than War Admiral, help people get through some serious harsh times, even train engineers. I feel for a train engineer out there right now who has to replace a rail off a rack, or he won't be getting home anytime soon, carrying 90 tons of something somewhere that's got to go somewhere sometime today, while watching his health at the same time with his crew. There are people out there this day and age, living here by myself in my big old house here in Elizabethtown, that I support day and night. You may be nearby an airport, and I'll feel you. Grandma may share that. She knows your family's standing right next to me up there in them clouds. I won't hesitate to go get them, by the way, even while I sleep. Another good reason why you should listen, regardless of what age you are, because I'll be the first one to put you in your place real fast if you did something wrong. It don't matter what star or rank you have. You gotta remember, it's the people that keep you employed that you never want to cheat or steal from. Jesus found that out with the 12 disciples sitting there at the dinner table, and he's about to reach for something, and it just occurs to him that he's about to be betrayed for everything he ever did. That kind of feeling sometimes. And I'll point and think, that so-and-so person needs to watch their health. That so-and-so person, I hope that he or she gets home back safely. Someone trying a new career, whether it be sitting in the middle of an auditorium holding a sign, number 1, 2, 3, 4 rounds, in a boxing match, and they'll be sitting there thinking of me, and I'll feel it. That's not just a face on a cover magazine for UFC. Yeah, that's someone I care for wholeheartedly, like everybody else. I say prayer real hard that whatever she's going through, that people respect her for what she does. It's not easy getting up in the middle of an auditorium and standing there with a smile and trying very vainly hard to hold it together, wearing some serious, beautiful swimsuit or what have you. Like WWF speakers, it takes a lot of courage to walk in there and yell, top of your lungs, attention, please, so and so to my left, so and so to my right. Even the managers, whether it be Hulk Hogan and everybody else, and there are people out there who come back from years of being with the WWF people, and they know me by name. And I sit there and be like, okay, you know, how come this so-and-so person hasn't come back yet? It takes time, dedication, years of experience. Whether it be Ric Flair, it's always good to see him. God bless his son way up there. I know he misses him a great deal. He's not far away, that's for sure. And he wants you to know he's in a place where there's no suffering, there's just peace. And he's never far away from you, that's for sure. I could say that out of heart, I could look at Dolly Parton and say, "Gosh darn, I miss my grandmother. Her personality reminds me of her a great deal." Um, so, like I said, it's about who you are and what you have to heart to give out of heart, and here I am giving that. Yeah, back. Also, I like to thank those who keep people up to no good, the way heck away from my neighbors, those I care about, especially con artists, people pretending to be my relatives, family members. To be quite frank, I don't have any family members here in the state except for my sister who's at Fort Campbell. Everybody else, nurses, wives, live out of state. So, if people come over, they knock after hours. There's no one allowed. One less headache. I keep things safe around here. I look after folks. There are some people out there that are jealous of that. And those are the people you pray for. I mean, I attend St. James. Y'all should stop by sometime. They have weddings, ceremonial infant baptisms. You have to call ahead for that one. And I do a lot for folks out of heart. And like I said, people who have a lot of potential in doing things care wholeheartedly about everybody else. And by the way, it's like, if you want things to happen, you gotta do it yourself and not hold ignorance or fall for ignorance There are people out there like Paul Walker. I just saw Furious 7 the other day. I was inspired, especially the ending part with Vin Diesel. You know, those are brothers from different moms. When they come on, it's not for their health either. It goes for everybody else, actresses who's trying, who's not intimidated by paparazzi, but would like to just come over and see somebody, give them a big old hug. Like goes without saying too. And I appreciate them coming over when they come over, just like my sister. I mean, I don't see how hard as it could be. If there's a doorbell staring at you in the face, obviously she could cover here like she owns the place. When she knocks, then what's so hard about knocking? Or what's so hard about leaving a comment to show that you were watching and trying vainly hard to get a hold of me and don't appreciate your mail being stolen postal wise before I even get it. If it's not UPS or signaturized, someone's bound to grab it before I wake up. I have Pacific time in me since birth. It don't matter if I go to bed, say 5 in the morning after, if I'm lucky, after broadcasting since 9 p.m. No matter how fast I'm online, uh, mentality-wise, with a psychology degree, it's like it's a gift. Relating to so many people, young and old, and keeping people like these people employed in many other churches all over the world. There are people who pray day and heart that their businesses stay open around me. I show a lot of heart and prayers. I mean, I try very hard to meet every restaurant major rule. I have to see it to believe it. I won't recommend 94 plus million military personnel families to a restaurant if I haven't seen it directly in person. I'm not going to put some family at risk for food poisoning or bad customer service when I haven't even been there and don't even know what it looks like, even if is it even wheelchair accessible. I mean, I think all the way around the box. Okay, I'm at a restaurant or a business. Obviously, they have a good family atmosphere, personality. Let me come in the next day covered in mud. I'll make Winnie the Pooh look easy here. I'll even smell bad just to see how they'll treat someone military. Or being a different race or a different culture and still know me by name, by face. That is how real I really am. Obviously, if he went through all that, being God himself, Jesus, for all of us, that's somebody worth believing is. I mean, he's willing to go that high up there just to defend all of you and keep all of you employed. I mean, I don't know any other way to explain just how real I really am other than playing guitar or flute that I have or sitting there writing poetry and trying to reach into somebody who needs some kind of reassurance that she's doing the right thing. Even holding a crown on her big old forehead up in Canada somewhere, wondering why her king is missing if there will ever even be a king. Now, there are some queens out there who's never had family, and they watch my channel, and they're sitting there trying to grow some kind of courage, some kind of conviction that says, hey, I noticed you way up there. It doesn't take a genius to figure out who I am, what descendants I have been through, or even being a descendant of King Richard the Lionheart or someone of Roman era where I just don't tolerate squat. I keep people employed all the way to Marie Antoinette. She's sitting there at her family who used to run Marie Antoinette, the whole mansion, sits there thinking, oh, who's running it now? I don't check. But I keep them open for business and a lot of history, not just Pride and Prejudice, watching a favorite movie of mine or The Notebook. People I care wholeheartedly for and just know when you're going through some kind of hard time or a bad day. And you're not sharing it alone because I felt you. I felt you even crying. Some come over in tears because they had a bad day or rough, it rained. When they say it rains, it pours. Don't spend what you don't have. The smarter ones always have more to go around, because they save. I could talk a whole eternity. It would take a lifetime to tell you what I know and hear. Obviously, raised by an Air Force officer's son, being his son. Here I am, Army and military and retired and caring for the whole world. Well, at least being a single bachelorette out there, you won't have to worry about me going off to war anytime soon. I'm a home buddy person. I mean, here I am, caring for all of you out there, especially you kids. I mean, I'm not afraid to tease some Duchess of York and make her feel appreciated and wanted around here. Regardless of what she does during her life or what helicopter she flies. I mean, it's not about your resume or what you have. It's about who you are at heart. Age is meaningless. That goes for the rest of you supermodels, Maximum magazines, the latest color. Charlie, I read her stuff and I look at her again. Okay. Interesting. Maybe she should grow some courage and stop by sometime. Obviously, a man of all races is a man of principle, a man of friendship. Uh, yeah, I sit there and think about that kid in the hospital bed right now who's bleeding out their lungs because they didn't ask for leukemia and didn't even get a vote. They didn't ask for any of it. And here they are watching my channel. Much love to you, him or her. Still trucking, still kicking because this ain't it. They'd rather fight than give up. And God bless their parents who come over every day. And I know it's not easy. I've taken care of 500 per every 5 minutes changing beds. I know exactly how you feel. I've done it, and my aunts still do it now and then. Some are full-fledged, nurses. They travel once in a while here and there, but they do get around. They hold up integrity. I come from a grandmother who's an OR nurse. She had raised 5 kids on a farm. Now, it doesn't take a genius to figure out what time of the day she had to get up just to get to work on time, and sometimes walking. Back in the days, you didn't have cars. You gotta walk your hind parts or ride a horse. This place where I live now used to be nothing but land, farmland, and a ranch. It's a lot of history to Elizabethtown, and it's come a long way, and it's growing every day. I mean, there are opportunities here day and night, not just, people I care about. There's opportunities at IHOP. They hire military. I even know the owner of that place. I wouldn't be over there recommending him to people or praying for these guys, these women that work just as hard as anybody else. They have integrity. They're willing to say, hey, at least I have a job. I'm not sitting there making fun of a person for having one. Day and night, sense of humor wise. I support them as much as Denny's, Cracker Barrel, everybody else. Academy Sports, just opened up. BFW nearby, and every other organization. Cozair.org, Wounded Warriors Program. There's even one here on base at Fort Knox, and I care about all them people too. I even throw a few pointers, crisis communication hotline, and am kind enough to even write customer service areas when I can. And it's about doing something that would make the Pope, the priest, look like child's play. That's why I say, have you seen the movie Dune? Well, it's kind of like that Muad'Dib character, yet the Notebook, Dear John, Pride and Prejudice, Notting Hill, all in one. I mean, there's a guy right here, so real that you could hug and take home to mom and dad and not have to worry about him going off and treating you like crap later. I won't do prenup. And it's not about your job credentials, what you own. It don't matter if you own a Titanic. It doesn't impress me any. It's about who you are and what you have. I mean, I have people, a royalty who need reassurance, and I look at them and I'm like, you thought you were just an old fart. Have you lost your mind? I'll tell you that to your face. You want to sit there and have coffee in front of you. You want some British tea? No? Well, I was going to drink it all anyway. I'll sit there and eat a cookie in front of you and your kids. I mean, that's how abusive I could be, being a kid at heart. What I heard you about? I hope it helps your day get through better. How about that? Not just an old fart grandfather Jr. over there as you thought. Sir Paul McCartney comes over once in a while. Obviously, he can't have all the fun. Well, gee, if he can do it, what makes you so to ring a doorbell? I feel for the relative who has to swing this one. Wait till Elton John comes by once in a while, or Black Sabbath, then you'll get the picture, okay? Rolling Stones, Clearwater, Armageddon movie. You figure it out. The reporters don't hesitate. Obviously, I'm not intimidated by anybody. I'll walk up to a paparazzi camera and say hi. My son will do the same thing. He's only 7 and he lives in Florida. He'll hold you like a koala bear. Like I used to do at 7, okay? That's a camera lift? Dang, come. I thought that was a pole 13 staring me down from way out there, NASA Space Station. Oh, wait, I can point out the satellites, and I don't even need to be plugged in. How about that? I made technology up there look like child's play. No wonder they keep an eye out on me. Golly, I feel privileged with that grandfather with 5 stars staring me down, trying very hard not to fall over and laugh, because it just makes his day knowing him or her that somebody's making y'all feel special. Thank God that y'all look out for me and care about everybody else around here. And my son's stuff and come by once in a while. And I mean, kind enough to open up my backyard barbecue grill to a whole division, the 101st. And some sirs need a little more time out, not just watching football. Maybe camping in my backyard might help them out, cool off since Africa. You ever thought of that? Camping in a backyard. Obviously, if Lampoon's National Vacation movie can do it, what's the hard job of a camping here? I mean, marshmallows, check, barbecue, okay. We're getting somewhere. Me, see? Okay, good. I speak a lot of languages. I mean, it's hard to believe I speak every single language known to mankind, which is what I said. You seen that Doom movie? It's kind of like Moses, only fast forward here. I mean, a guy would walk up to anybody and shake hands with a grizzly bear. It's always worth someone getting to know. I make Beastmaster look like child's play. Looking at these birds I'm trying to bring back from being endangered. It's something my grandmother used to do for years. As a nurse, she'd sit there and watch it. No, not even look at that book. That's a robin. Knew what type of, where it came from, what direction even. A wolf or what type of wolf. Stuff I care about out of heart. And it's like, I care about people more than people know. Even though when someone's feeling really down or depressed, and I hope to God they don't do this while calling that number first. Veterans care. There are people who are families that have veterans in their own family, their own life, and there's no such thing as a stupid question with them. If you know someone that's new in town being bullied or a child, and they're a military kid at heart, so, even picking up this number and calling in on their behalf helps them out too. It's about life and knowing a person for what they do in life, and bullying someone's kid just ain't it. I'm against bullying, hazing, harassing, the works. Uh, I care about people more than they know. I'm kind enough to make a decoration of cookies for Princess Charlotte. That was done the moment she was born. How ironic I knew that. Maybe it's because Queen Diana wasn't standing far away from me, and she told me to leave it exactly the way it is. I never know when they drop by. and they'll get the hint. Hopefully, not every day someone does that at their own house and treat y'all like family, and would love to hold shot in my hand and look at George down because that's exactly what my son would do playing Xbox with him. He wouldn't hesitate to play ball with him too. You know, well, we sit there and talk about anything to life. That's the kind of person I am, the heart. I would open up my own house and treat your kids as though they were my own. I'm that kind of person. Wouldn't hesitate. That's the kind of family man I was raised to be from an officer's son who sits here day and night and tries vainly hard to keep people from killing themselves and, makes y'all feel special, not obsolete, not welcome, not wanted, or unappreciated, regardless of how hard you work. Even that guy in Parliament who's trying to figure out whether they should pass this or veto it. And British Brothers, Notting Hill, other movies I've seen, trying to sit in there hoping they're having a good day, what have you, and taking it from there. It takes years to get where I am now, and there are people who are broadcasting this all over the world, and I could be looking at a child in Pakistan. I don't see how it could be so difficult to learn school when school is more important than anything else in life. If you want your life to be better, you must go back to school. You must learn something new. Jesus was a carpenter's son. He didn't learn that on his own. He learned that through his dad, a new trade. How else are you gonna better your life other than 5 cents an hour? That's not it. It's a stepping stone in life. Keeping educated and praying that with God that things get better for you, as I pray for you. I pray for the endless suffering of children everywhere, and the end to all destruction. It takes character and a lot of heart. That's what people remember me as, and that's what people respect. I mean, it's it's all about heart and who you are, and that's what people see in me, and it makes them feel good knowing at the end of the day they didn't spend 9+ hours waiting on me day and night, hoping to God to get another glimpse of me in my house and feel a sense of warmth that they're not so alone in the world as they thought, and not the last wearing those shoes of theirs. And I hope they're watching their health at the same time. I hope that what I just said for the last couple of years, 7+ years, going on 8, sacrificing my time away from my son and those around me. And by the way, using someone's kid to stay here temporarily, because forging documents under his signature and not letting him hear, much less say, hardly see anything of his son because I'm too busy to care, too busy to work, only goes so far with an immigration judge. Keep that in mind. I can show a few pointers on the fine points of bringing someone to the U.S. You want to get to know the person, make sure, that is what you want, and other than bringing them, they are, keep in mind, they're just as human as you are. They're just as nervous. They're coming a long ways from their family and their friends, and not everybody's like someone quote unquote goes out there and hurts somebody for bringing them here. Keep in mind it takes a lot of heart to get to know a person, not just around the world. There are pen pals, not just dating websites, Match.com, or whatever date site you look up that support people and try vainly hard to make weddings work, not just bachelor dating sites or bachelorettes, but it's like, vice versa, not just movies, favorites like You've Got Mail. That's another good example of, you're basically taking the same risk as meeting anybody at a bar or what have you. I mean, if obviously if someone in Pride and Prejudice can meet whoever they darn well please and not listen to mom all the time, what makes you think I won't do the same thing? I mean, I'll walk through miles of acres just to stare you down. Obviously, he's not walking in the rain for his health in that movie, portraying that character based on the book Pride and Prejudice. I mean, obviously, it's not about money. It's about heart. Or you wouldn't be walking all that way just to look at someone beautiful that means the whole world to him. I could say that the same way to someone like Baby Shades. It's not about what you own or what you have. It's the human heart that makes a difference. That goes to every other woman in the world. A woman on every seaport that I care about. There are people out there who don't care about you, don't care about me. Those are what I call bigots. Now, people who act just like Pontius Pilate did to Jesus Christ. They basically hung him out to dry for keeping people employed. They don't like anything that I'm doing or the fact that I'm on here caring for all of you. Well, that's them. It's childish as it is. That's ignorant. They claim they know me. I hope you never run into someone driving you around who claims they know me. But truth is, just wants what's out of your purse or wallet, and only to get rid of you and catch on to the next person. I hope you don't fall prey for such things. Because those other people don't really know me from Adam. If they knew me, they wouldn't hesitate to treat you like family for one, take you to a restaurant that's familiar as mine, that I've recommended, and two, treat you with dignity and respect, and bring your hind parts here as far as you come, because some of you only make 5 cents an hour, but you don't tell them that, and you're wanting to see someone who actually made a difference in your life, whether you be royalty or someone who understands how the world really works. You could be a teacher, an engineer, a doctor, a soldier from Korea or Portugal or Italy or Spain or Switzerland and Norway, or as far as Germany, Russia, not just in movies. People who are all walks of life want to see that one guy that makes them want to get out of bed and take on the world, not just in Rocky. And spirits of mine. And it's like, I can relate to a lot of things, young and old, but it takes a unique man as myself to sit here being a bachelor dad to sit there and show you the fine points of right and wrong and also uphold integrity. I mean, that's something a universal king does without trying. It's a born gift to sit there and while researching my past, my family's history, having a lie in us all, and it's like, I'm not afraid to go out there and take on the world, but at the same time, I'm independent. I have grandmother Junior saying, you could use a butler or a nanny once in a while. You might want to get used to that if you're hanging around with Miss Duchess of York here. I'll sit there and eat a peanut butter jar in front of you and be like, you want some? I'm going to eat it all anyway. How about the munchkins, the little redheads here? I'll sit there and strike a conversation with anybody. I don't even know how to get to a kid cartoon. See, cartoons, okay. While mom's sleeping, you can do your homework. How about that? And them apples. Would just let you slide on it. Do you think your mom would let me hear the end of that one? No, I don't think so. I care about people wholeheartedly, and I like the fact they keep coming back for more, and I thank you for your patience waiting endless hours. I know some of you pay a lot just to get online, even use internet on the other side of this world. It's like $5 in some rental places. Free at Starbucks here in America, and it's nice they supply that because there are people out there trying to get jobs, and at the same time being military, while applying for a job, they could be a nervous wreck and needing some kind of compassion of understanding while watching my channel. I hope this helps you feel better and while you're sitting there crying because you thought you were alone, struggling, God knows, trying to keep a roof over your head or just lost your roof. I hope this helps you feel better that somebody actually knows how that feels and he's sitting right here. Obviously, if I can get a roof on a factor of $20 long time ago, starting from sidewalk level. It's never too late to start over or change your stars. Watching such movies as First Night, Heath Ledger, and or The Crow. Another uh, kid came up to me the other day. He told me it reminded me of that character Brandon Lee portrayed, The Crow, because he'll always come out of nowhere and you just save the day and you make the person smile and feel appreciated and wanted. And, not so lonely in the world. The world we live in, a teacher can define it as it can be harsh, reality check of an awakening, or it can strike like lightning. I strike sometimes twice. I'll show up out of nowhere and look dead center at you. I'm not looking at you. I'm looking at that soul of yours. I already know everything there is to know about you. Your family standing next to you in the afterlife. They know everything you ever did wrong, right down to big muscle bodybuilder here. You can sit there, look dead center. I'll go get your aunt and uncle. How about that? Now, while you're sitting there chewing gum, and help you with a reality check of the awakening, okay? You understand? You may be 9'1", but don't forget who's wiser right here. I didn't forget the pebbles, alright? You seen Braveheart? Better learn real fast. And they started laughing because, that's a big brother right there. Honestly, I'm not afraid to go get, if ever I need to, the rest of your family members. I'm not afraid to grab a throne or sit there in a chair and give a queen a whole year off, that's badly needed, because she thought she was alone in the world and thought nobody cared. Obviously, cabbage and stuff being thrown at a Rolls Royce all morning long was the highlight of her morning. She thought she was alone in that area, especially with kids around. No, you weren't. I told that. And I hope that me saying, hey, I look out for you, treat them with respect and dignity they deserve just because they're from another country or state, does not mean we are not God's children. I mean, young and old, we're all his kids. I have a kid in me at heart. You gotta be a kid at heart in order to be a dad. It takes practice and dedication. Your grandparents don't know all the answers, but hey, they can't be in your shoes. But they can sure as hell try and give you advice once in a while when you need it. Spend time with your grandparents, because there will be a day or a week that'll go by after they pass away and so forth where you miss them a great deal and you'll sit there trying to think of what to do for the day, and it's like, gosh darn, I wish I had 5 more hours with her, just something to say hi to, because she knew all the answers, and it's like, you wish you had more time, which is why I tell you wholeheartedly, spend time with your family and your friends, those you have around you, because you never know when their time is up and you wish you had more time, not just watching stuff like this in movies. And for some folks, it's like, gosh darn, I can't believe he's that real. There are women who sit there and touch my face through a computer screen, and they feel better knowing that someone cares for them. They could be speaking a different language, different religion, yet I know exactly how they feel about the day, and I hope they feel safer, better about themselves, that someone, even speaking Chinese, Cantonese, Mongolian, what have you, race-wise, doesn't feel so alone, that someone actually cares about you and helps you have a sense of family warmth, that, you're not alone in the world while you're bettering yourself. You could be in college. You could be studying a new degree, a doctorate, or becoming a nurse, or, carrying on about the day trying to find a new job and feel pressured, 10, 200 people standing in front of you and they still haven't got the job. And I hope I'm it, and kind of feeling nervous wreck, and you hope it goes through. And here I am showing you all that, so what it's like. So I hope what I just said for the last couple years makes some kind of difference in your life, whether you be a kid or someone of royal blood. And there is such a thing as a person born knowing his or her purpose, and it doesn't take a genius to figure out why. I'm here and the fact that I know all about you and those who watch me and that you're somebody in God's eyes and you sure as hell ain't doing it alone. You didn't just break up from that, you know what, thinking you were all alone crying on your knees and that nobody cared, when truth is, I noticed you crying. I felt you all the way over here. And remember one thing, crying only makes you stronger. Getting drunk over that person who wasn't worth you to start with in an elevator, that's not even remotely how you should be treated, okay? You need to think about that. And, yeah, that's just one of many friends. I'll sit there and hold her hair up and be like, no, hoping to God she doesn't, all over my shoes. And because knowing she probably won't even remember me the next day. But, that's not the point. I'm the kind of guy to make sure she's home safe. Now, I know how best friends can be out there partying all night long. I'm chasing after somebody who I have to put two of my arms together to make one of his, okay? And he's twice bulky. He'll tell you a couple of pointers throughout the years you ever run into him. And he speaks Puerto Rican very well. And it's like, he doesn't forget a day or a night where, I've lost count how many times I've been there for him as he is for me as a family member. And it's like, I'm a man who speaks a lot of languages and a lot of cultures and understands that, you're not alone in life, and friendship is a bridge. It takes work, it takes building, it takes dedication. Not just reading the Bible or trying very honestly to tell people that, hey, that they can go about like a formation of clay, what you want out of it. It takes work and a lot of heart. And if you want your life to be better, you have to learn to go outside your comfort zone. You have to learn to put down your insecurities, your doubts, those feelings that betray you sometimes, and yet at the same time mislead you. Don't fall for peer pressure. Those that, I got a bad test score, and test score that makes it okay to make your life miserable all day long as a result. Don't fall for stuff like that, especially in school. Teachers are not there to fail you. They're there because they know exactly, again, how the real world really is. It can be very cold. It can be very downright mean. So you best wake up, and when she's holding that chalkboard and hope trying to grab your attention, she's not there for her house. She could be a substitute teacher. Trust me, she has a sense of humor like everybody else. It's not just watching movies that inspire people, Coach Carter or what have you, that make you do better in your life. They all have a story. They all have something to say. They all have a part of their lives to share amongst all of you. You are what makes the future better. How you go about it is up to you. Your parents can't be in your shoes, but they can be there for you. Remember who gave you life, who got you thus far, and how much it costs for one child alone in a household. 30 plus $1,000. That's right. They could have spent that on a cruise or a new car, not just clothe you. Remember that before you mouth off the wrong way with them. You looked them dead center in the eye and said, Camper wanted me to pass you a message, Bob, Dad. You didn't have to spend those clothes on me. You could have spent that on a car. I want to thank you for giving me life. Remember, life is not something you throw away with drugs. You want to live your life? Think about those kids in the hospital beds who don't have one more day. Work on that no smoking policy. Yeah, put it out. It's not cool. Those people don't care how you're dying from lung cancer because you thought that would fix your problems, being alone or wanting to look cool. Cool is being yourself, regardless of what people think. Seen Ferris Bueller, that's a perfect example. That guy didn't care what other people think. He cared about those around him, how to make them laugh, feel appreciated, wanted. It's a gift. It takes a lot of years of dedication, a lot of years portraying that character, and a lot of heart to sit there and wonder, okay, she's having a good or bad day. Honestly, the stuff she's looking at is boring the crap out of her. Maybe I should take her book away. Hi! Remember me? Oh, wait, you're writing something. My bad. That ain't a diary, is it? Oh, darn. There goes your pen. What you gonna do now? Seen screensavers lately? I can do it. A cup of coffee or a burger. What better way to get a camera operator's attention? That's just not nice. Who thought of that? They'll sit there, he or she'll think. Obviously, he's trying to get my attention because there's a coffee going a bit air to left, right, up, down. Oh, you thought you did that with your kids a while ago with a movie? What better way to help you feel appreciated? You're not just staring at a floor of clothes all day long, wondering if he'll come by sooner or later, because there's a bunch of women looking for him. He's around here. Golly, he makes the Matrix look easy. You know, caring about my day. Oh, wait, you know, it's that small business right there trying to stay open with a bunch of portraits. You know, hope he comes back because God knows Fort Knox could use the morale paintings that he has since World War One or the American British Revolution that blow people's minds and help people prevent from doing this, having some kind of painting in their home, like George Washington praying next to his horse of a four-legged friend in cold snow. This is his stomping grounds, by the way. He comes through here like Abraham Lincoln, too. Heck, you know, sometimes I'll sit there and play poker, you know, trying to remind these spirits, you know, watch it with a cannon fire. Or say hi to a Cherokee tribe leader who comes through here, hoping that I have some sort of law waiting on the porch that's not wet, soaked beyond reason, because they're covered, soaked all night long. And someone forgot to keep that one campfire lit that would have helped the rest of the campers. At least when they come by here in my home, I have a bunch of logs outside they can borrow and bring back, you know, when they're done camping, and pay it forward to the next tribe, you know, when they come through here. That way they're not stoked all night long, wondering how come nobody cared, thinking nobody cared about them, when truth is, Care Bear cares. That's exactly what it means. I'm that thoughtful, that outside the box kind of person, you know. Why else do I have tiki torches out there that don't care if it rains, pouring on, hurricane, they'll stay lit. Yeah, except when it rains, of course. Yeah, but they're at least there where a camper doesn't have to worry about freezing in rain all night long, and they can relight a fire eventually with my courteous help. That includes buffalo soldiers when they ever come over, historic societies who don't, you know, aren't intimidated by going camping or having fun. Like I said, it takes a lot of heart while sitting there and reminding people that, you know, all walks of life, that you're not alone in the world and not the last, and someone actually cares about you, regardless of what kind of day you had. I'm sorry you had a rough day. God, I wish I could have been there and gave you a hug. That's how real I am. As Southern hospitality as it could be a sports secret Victoria's supermodel, and I'll sit there be thinking, okay, why is she on the ceiling at the mall when she could have been over here at this house? Everyone needs a place to crash once in a while. Which would you rather have? Spend money on a hotel, or come here, save money, and not have to use it on a hotel? Which would you rather have? You don't have to listen to me. You could just continue living in the ceiling and feel really silly knowing that I was staring at your portrait and wondering if you'll ever come down looking really obvious, waiting on the next photographer to come by to help you make ends meet. Cute ponytail, you know I do. Way up there. And especially where you're living now, I want you to keep that in mind for future reference, not just on Blackjack Farm. Another great place to go see here in Kentucky, and it's like, you know, Sports Illustrated women friends are always welcome here at my crash pad. I know how it can be. It's quite competitive, especially, you know, you're sitting there looking at the next person below you who might replace you one day in a commercial, and you're feeling all of a sudden old and obsolete. wanting to go on to something else, like, being a mom. Home is where the heart is. Even down south in Florida, I'll remind friends I know that, hey, just because you live near my son or what have you, doesn't mean I didn't notice you or care about you. Or, I wouldn't have you in my house or on my wall for that matter. You're not just a face or a portrait. You're someone I actually care about a great deal and pray with. And, I hope it makes you feel better and that you're not just a face in a magazine cover. There are actresses like Meryl Streep and Devil Wears Prada who, bring out the best in people and know how to help people smile. She even shows in portraying that character what it's like CEO wise of a job corporation, even fashion designers. It is very challenging, not just watching shows like Under the Gun stuff. I watch people I keep employed wholeheartedly, and they'll look at you and, ask you if you'll fax your resume before even speaking to you. Only you come back 5 minutes later praying you got the job by some secretary character. Who starred in The Muppets, the same kind of desk character too. Saw that a while ago. And I look at them not just acting, but people who are like family to me and care about. If they come over and like they own the place, and it's I can sit there and have a cup of coffee with, and hope they have better days ahead. Not just Coyote Ugly or Tyra Banks or everyone else, Piper when she's around, Minuteman crew, World War II veterans. I help people feel appreciated, wanted, and while saving people's lives every day. That's not an easy job, and it's a task that I have a gift for, not just being psychic, but relating to somebody and knowing exactly where they were wrong, and at the same time knowing how to help them better themselves, because the last thing they want to portray themselves is, a lost soul. When you're not lost, you're found. You're found wanted here. A sense of use, sense of belonging where someone appreciates you for who you are, and he's sitting right here, and he cares a whole great deal about you. And I hope this helps you feel better and carry on your day and, you know, really see the inner you, but at the same time, know that, the person sitting here before you doesn't just see you or what you have. It's not about that. It's about who you are at heart. I mean, regardless of what day you had, and eventually you have it. Hopefully, hope and pray that you grow the courage that I think you have in you, that I see a part of me in you, as you see in me, and all of you out there, that you'll drop by and have a couple talk with that person that gave you so much courage and hope and conviction and dedication. Or at least, stay out here in the backyard until I eventually wake up, camping and having a cup of coffee with. I mean, I can make the president coffee in the middle of the desert, okay, in Saudi Arabia with a magnifying glass. I have it down to a science, alright? I mean, I don't take nothing for granted in my house. Yeah. Regardless of what kind of, flaw it has right now. I mean, Jesus was born in a manger. He was lucky to even get hay. I don't take nothing for granted, not even a bed. Uh, I know it's like sleeping on a sidewalk. I know how people feel who are homeless. Just because they're homeless, that doesn't make them less of a human being. There are people who walk to life sweeping floors. Like I said, at least they have a job. They're waiting for the next step to come along, the next career path. But again, it goes without saying, if you want to better yourself, you gotta take steps, you gotta write it down, make plans. This is what I wanna do in 5 months, this is what I wanna do in 12 years, this is where I wanna be at. Nobody's gonna do it, hold your hand for you all life long. I mean, it's just like the Lion King, perfect meaning in there that, everything comes full circle. You gotta live your life because life is very fragile. And I hope what I just talked about makes you get through the day a lot better than where you were 2 years ago, or 3 months from now, or 5 months from now, right down to that child in the hospital bed, hoping that God grants him or her a miracle because the cancer she's in has, or not wanting anymore, would just go away and she can go back to playing ball like every other kid out there. I mean, I'm that real. You don't just watch it from movies like The Lake House or Sleepless in Seattle, Times, Meg Ryan, or Jennifer watching Friends. They help, provide some kind of warmth and help people stop arguing and being bitter amongst each other by watching that show. It's a favorite of mine, Jennifer Aniston and everybody else. Much love to all you. Seinfeld even. I even look at their covers. Okay, I'm missing a few things. Oh, I got that one. Well, wait, who got that? They've got that monster chef hiding the cookie monster makes their look child's play. And I can see they're trying to communicate too when I'm fully awake. Obviously, I gotta get that beneath me right there, hanging on that kitchen right there. There are people who try bettering themselves while watching such things, and it takes a lot of heart and a lot of practice to stand there and do parts, you know, stuff that I make acting look easy, and that's not even using a script. I tell people the day I use a script, Starbucks is gonna run out of coffee, and the stock market's gonna go on pause for a very long time. Crickets won't chirp. That'll be a not so good day, okay? I So you see any script here? No, don't use script. I do it without even. I mean, try 5 hours backwards. Try that mentally, okay? Plus, I do it out of heart because it makes me feel good caring for all of you out there. It's a gift I haven't lost since birth. You should see my son. He's only 7. There's a 12-year-old who's a Boy Scout supporter, and he does pasturing. I mean, hello, he gets up in front of a podium and does preaching, and then he can do what I do and make it look easy. And I'm looking at him like, how old are you? Wait here, wait. You missing the BDU uniform. Golly. It's good to have hardcore watchers here. And that's a blessing, too. He has a sense of humor. And it's amazing. What a person goes through even while broadcasting. And it's not going to stop me anytime soon, just like the good Lord. I mean, regardless of what people try or do. And, it's just like what Jesus went through on the cross for us all. I mean, I'm that kind of real person. Won't be quitting, caring for all of you all day long. I mean, it's like even broadcasting to millions all over the world and doing the good Lord's work. I mean, there are people, like I say, who discriminate what they don't understand. But how are you going to discriminate something when it's 5 feet in front of you? And it takes a lot of character and heart to sit in front of millions and be like, okay, this is how my day went, and this is how such relationships go, not just in books. But how much better your world can be with me not far away from it. I mean, it pays to think outside the box, not just talking through a computer screen. I mean, I'll sit there for hours at a coffee shop reading a newspaper and hope that that person sitting nearby has a good day, that they're not so alone in the world as they thought they were, that nobody cared about them. That's not true, because if that were, I wouldn't be sitting there saying, hi, how are you, like many others. And here I am caring about the whole world and like trying very hard to help some kid feel better about themselves, even those without parents. I mean, I was sitting there thinking, what could I say that would make one shred of difference in someone's life who doesn't have parents? 43 million plus kids. You know? Oh, wait. I have an OSD magazine, this newspaper that says, hello, it's a starting point. Now, doesn't that face get to every parent? I think so. That kid's still waiting for a parent. He's got that expression on his face where he doesn't want Christmas gifts, he doesn't want birthdays, he just wants parents. Kind of expression on his face without even reading the article yet. I mean, look at that. Just wants a home to call home. I mean, I watched Apple Cider, the movie, and I'm sitting there thinking, okay, what could I say to that kind of kid who's had a real rainy day? What could you possibly say to help that kid out, being a dad? It's like, I hope he had a good day. I hope he feels a sense of war that someone, as much as Catholic ministries and organizations, assist the rising number of victims' child homelessness while attempting also to address its roots causes. Not just pastors, people who get around the world helping a child feel better about his or her life, knowing that someone out there cares about them day and night. There are people who came up to me the other day. I never had parents. But if it weren't for you, I wouldn't have made it this far. And I give them a big old bear hug, and it's like at a mall or something, and it's like, they come as far as China, Korea, Saudi Arabia. They be covered in Muslim and practice a different religion, different book, but they know me by faith. I appreciate if you run into them that you treat them with dignity and respect and help them out with a few pointers. Lamb Nav. Okay, I'm trying to find him here. I have an English book. Obviously, you've seen movies that describe how hard it is translating sentences here in English. Not just with an iPad. So I hope the guy, throw him a few pointers to help him get here safely, because it's not easy. Come from another country, they could be speaking a different language, different culture, but in his eyes, we're all equal in God. So, comes without saying. I hope you're watching your health wherever you are, at your workplace or at home, and that you get home safely, being that caring to heart and being a bachelor dad. That, you know, this show, as big as it is, as grown as it has, and there are people trying bailing hard to sit there and put together something for themselves, and it's like, I wonder how he does all that mentally without even using a script. The average producer will tell you it's a gift. I make them look easy. Filmmaker, uh, producer of songs, even. If anybody was more squared away having a gift at heart who knows how to sing, I'd have somebody who used to know Johnny Cash come over with a mobile studio station and record, from my house. I mean, Elvis Presley did the same thing. Why can't anybody else? I mean, it's not rocket science. There are people who come as far as the field house here in Kentucky, obviously not for their health, needing my kind of prayers and support. Not just the biggest place you ever could think of that supports country music and everybody else, theaters, even restaurants, small businesses here in Elizabethtown. Not just on the back of a church pamphlet. I keep all those in prayer, and I hope that what I said today and for the last couple of years makes a difference in your life, and you're not so alone as you thought. Remember, life's a journey best shared, never alone. It's a bridge of friendship that never ends, even leaving or retiring from the military, moving on to something new. Change is a good thing. It goes without saying. Your feelings are your friends. They'll never lead you astray. Frustration leads to something of compassion. Despair turns into wanting to know new people, start a new hobby, whether it be sewing, painting, arts and crafts. There was a store not far away that specializes in arts and crafts at the Indian that just opened up from a town that's growing every day. There are people trying to get some kind of employment other than looking at a newspaper. Careerbuildermonster.com. I mean, I'm that kind of person to point a few pointers out, even your local website. I hope you get a job. I hope your life betters, because if anybody's going to do it, it's you. And if anybody understands what you're going through, even at praying day and night, it's God. In God, we trust. Hope you're staying warm, having a great day and night. Remember to stay positive, be kind to each other. Don't fall for ignorance. Be you, stay you, be cool. Much love, stay tuned. I appreciate you all waiting, and when you get a chance, make a comment. See the little comment section right here on the bottom part. If you write a comment and trying to get a hold of me, what have you, God bless you for trying, because I know it's not easy. I tell you, it feels like Bruce Almighty, the part where he says 3 million yes and 9 million responses no, kind of power with the remote. It's that kind of feeling sometimes. But eventually I'll get to you, and when I do, know that I keep you not far away in prayers. And that you're not so alone in the world as you thought. Hope you're watching your health. Much love.